Are you ready for your daily dose of Outriders news and updates? We've got a lot to talk about in this video, including a new official update that, yes, the new patch has entered its testing phase right now. And also, if you want to play without the fear of losing your inventory, you're going to want to stay tuned. We're going to go over that in just a moment. Plus, what if you're actually locked out of your character right now and you're having problems? Well, we have insight from the dev team as to what's going on there and when that will actually be fixed. And yes, we're going to be talking about more broken mechanics in the game that you need to be aware of right now, because you may accidentally be nerfing your own character without even realizing it. So let's dive in. Hey everyone, what's happening? Open World Games here. Hope you're doing good, and let's do this. Remember, I'm going over your top comments later on in the video, so leave a comment down below. It could end up in a future video. You never know. So let's dive into the official stuff first, shall we? This comes from the Outriders team. They say testing on our upcoming patch to address the inventory wipe issue is progressing well so far. Addressing this issue remains our highest priority, and we hope to share more news soon. Furthermore, they said this: we're also continuing to look into all available avenues for restoring as much lost gear as possible to those who experience an inventory wipe. And then full details can be found here. Again, I've covered this all in previous videos. Check out my previous videos. You can find out a ton more as to what's going into the patch. Now they say also on our list to fix is the couldn't connect to server error message some players are experiencing when they log in and play as affected characters. Once our restoration process has been completed, these characters should be able to once more play as normal. That would really suck, not being able to log into your character. Now, we do have an actual follow-up question to this, and it's good to know that they have a fix that they're working on for that, and it's going to be included in this upcoming patch. But let's take a look at this. This is the question here. Just one thing: does your plan also address the characters being unplayable in the process, resulting in inventory wipe? And Square Enix, as you can see here, replied saying, I believe that some affected characters being unplayable is actually a current safeguard that prevents further corruption of the save game. The inventory wipe issue is a big one to grapple with, so it's hard to provide definitive answers here and now, but ensuring that all characters will return to full playability is something we are doing our utmost to ensure. So there's your response, and again, they are working on that fix, and it apparently will be included in the brand new update, which has entered its testing phase. Now, more about the restoration process. Let's take a look here. We have something from Jesper, who says, does this mean that the restoration is going on as we speak, or is it later this week? Outriders confirmed that the restoration will only be run after the patch has been released and the issue confirmed as resolved. So they are wanting to first and foremost squash the bug, this horrible bug, of course, and fix the game first. And then they could begin, of course, restoring everything as well. Now, we're going to be talking about a big one right here. And you guys probably want to play the game without worrying about anything, right? Without worrying about your inventory being deleted or disappearing. So let's take a look at what 2Caddy had to say right here. He says, play without fear of the inventory wipe, a temporary fix. Let's take a look. It says, greetings, fellow Outriders. Like many of you, I've been playing this game in constant fear of my inventory being wiped. A friend and I were playing all day yesterday and stumbled upon, a method we were able to reproduce 10 times that prevented the inventory wipe bug. Note, both of us are on Steam PC. I don't know if this same method works for console, but it very well might. Now they say this: my friend repeatedly joined and left my lobby as I sat in the Outriders camp. Eventually, 1 out of every 10 or so attempts at joining caused the inventory wipe bug. Whenever his character loaded into the camp and he noticed that there was no gear equipped, he very quickly tapped Alt 4 and hard closed the game. Upon rebooting, every single time his inventory was restored, he did this as fast as possible before even opening his inventory. Just look at your character and see if your armor loads. As mentioned above, we were able to perform this roughly 10 times as he was brave enough to keep risking his gear in the name of science. Dude, thank you so much. Now he says this: for console players, perhaps someone can test and verify that pressing the power button ASAP after loading in naked works. It very well might, as I believe what is happening here is that the loading playing is leaving before any kind of autosave hits their naked self. Discovering this method has let me play without the constant fear of my 80 plus hours being flushed. Spread the word about this trick until the developers are able to come up with a true fix. Now, the developers also confirmed that if you are on console, just hard close the game as fast as possible. That is where you go to the options menu of your game and then you see close game. You got to close the game instantly. I personally don't know about doing a hard shutdown of your console, because that might cause some disturbances with your actual console. So I personally would try to avoid that. But hey, if you want to do it, you can. I'm sure your console would be fine, of course. But yeah, there's some methods that you can do if you're in an emergency situation and you see your character is naked. Do what you gotta do. That's what I gotta say. Now, let's talk about some broken mechanics, of course. We're going to be talking about this topic right here from Hurt Taco. It says broken weapon damage scaling. Now, he says this: I want more people to be aware of this issue and spread the word so the team notices it. The issue is with weapon damage scaling. When I join my friend that is on a lower world tier, I look at the weapon damage bonus of my primary gun. It will say 53% weapon damage bonus, but then when I move the cursor away and then back, it changes to say 41%. My weapon goes from doing 800 damage per bullet to 88 damage per bullet. The only way I have found to make it go back to 53% is by unequipping the gun and re-equipping it and backing out of the inventory before it has a chance to reduce the power again. It is really aggravating when I go from doing 3,000 damage for a critical hit to only 400 damage for a critical hit mid-fight, and I have to hide to open my inventory to swap guns back and forth. I'm really surprised I haven't seen more people noticing this issue and reporting it. Please spread the word. Have you experienced this as well? And it seems like a bunch of you have. That's 277 upvotes right there. And there was another guy that made a really detailed post about it here. Problem is with all the item wipes that fire is taken over in any other topic. Yeah, so yeah, of course the problem is, the fact of the matter is that people can fly in Square Enix. Their big focus is on this inventory wipe bug issue, which, they gotta get that fixed. Another big question for everyone is, where are you, buddy? Where is our big monstrous alien friend? Is this a tease to something in the future? A lot of the community is actually wondering this, and we have a reply here from everybody who says this: too powerful, can wipe out thousands in split seconds and even altered respect them. He stolen gear from our inventories and ran away. He's such a powerful creature. Now, Nemesis says this: could have sworn we were told we'd get the chance to fight one back when the demo release. So yeah, this is an interesting discussion. Sound off as to what you think about this, but this is really cool. Best in the Game says it would be awesome if they incorporated him into some raid time mode. Hell yes, it would be very, very cool to see some sort of new mode around larger creatures that are like larger than life or as big as skyscrapers. Can you imagine? That would be freaking badass. And this engine to this game is pretty impressive. It can handle a lot of characters on screen, so perhaps I could do a monstrosity on screen as well. Now, there's a new problem arising with expeditions as well, and there's some trolls that are becoming hosts of those expeditions. It says hosts kicking players at the very end of an expedition, and this is becoming apparently a big problem. We have 1,100 upvotes here, and this definitely needs to be fixed. People can fly. Square Enix, they all need to just look into this issue. It should not be allowed that the host can ever consider kicking random players once the game has begun or initiated a certain phase in the expedition. That is absolutely ridiculous. And of course, if it continues to happen and there's enough trolls in the game, it'll seriously hurt the game in the long term for sure. So they're going to have to find out some way to adjust and figure out a solution to that problem. Recommendations in the comments below. Sound off. How do you think they should address that issue, of course? Now, Game Angel says this: so far, modded epics are better than any of the legendaries I've earned. He says, so far, I've been able to mod epics that kill enemies faster than all of the legendary weapons I got during the campaign or through the bounties. Anyone else experience the same? And we have Sarcastic Kenobi, who says, epic weapons are great, especially if you've already cannibalized a legendary for a mod that you want. However, I do like some of those armor sets. While some of their set bonuses don't mean much to me, others sound damn good. One set with double trickster blade damage, another with immortal inside slow trap. I actually have this set right here. Boom. It is freaking awesome. Or no, I mean, it gives me double chance to use the blade, actually. Excuse me, but my god, yeah, there's some really cool stuff you could even do with the epics, which I personally like, but I feel like the legendaries, in some ways, are somewhat underwhelming. In some ways, I gotta keep digging into the legendary mods and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm curious of your experience, everyone. Sound off. What is your primary weapon? As you can see right now, my primary weapon is definitely my purple gun that I'm using currently. I think it all depends also when you actually get your legendary. If you're getting it too soon and you're not hitting level 30, or you're getting ahead of the expeditions, that's gonna make it seem like it's a bit underwhelming, of course. Now, a lot of you guys are once again sounding off against the fact that you really wish you had a transmog system in the game. I love his truck, by the way. That is so freaking cool. I have not gotten that. That is awesome. I want it, man. And the armor here is really cool. But yeah, transmog system in the game would be badass. There's just some really cool armor sets. In particular, I'm really liking my current armor set, and I'm going to be bummed if I have to replace it with something that looks crappier. So yeah, we definitely need that system in place. Now, there's also like another horrible bug that people are experiencing. I'm curious if you guys have run into this as well. I know I have. Cameron says, anyone else get this horrible noise in the quest map? And yeah, there is some issues with the actual sound effects in this game. I've had issues where, for example, you know, playing the game and music just repeats over and over again. I have to actually shut down the game to get that to stop. And I'm like, what the hell, dude? That has happened during critical moments in the story. Very rarely, but it's still a pain, and they need to address that for sure. Guess what time it is? It is time to go over your top comments. So let's do this. Remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up right here in the video. So let's see what you guys are saying, shall we? So the last video was called Dev Team Gets Called Out. Here's their response: new altered tier loot concept. Yeah, that new altered tier loot concept was really cool. It was displaying like an altered loot weapon or armor piece that had 3 mod slots instead of just 1. And another thing you guys want to see is the ability to actually change out your attributes, not just the mods, but specifically for legendary weapons, which would make them more valuable for sure. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at your comments here. We have Rot Wrath, who says, worst part of the spike is when you spike the last enemy and you have to waste time waiting for the game to count as dead to move on. Hopefully it gets fixed eventually. Referring to, of course, the abilities with the Devastator. And yeah, that's got to be addressed for sure. Now, Anti-Waffles says this: they could easily do a 3 mod slot legendary, but only that allow you to put offensive mods in 2 slots and a defensive in the 3rd to mitigate any imbalances in damage that may occur. Fantastic idea right there. Thinking outside the box, dude. Maybe game development is in your future. Glenn says this: the impel thing is annoying if you accidentally impel the last guy to clear a room, because he doesn't count as dead until the spell ends, which can hurt clear times. The effect looks cool as hell, though. Yeah, you know, I can't wait to dig into more of the Devastator. The non-stop laughter on the going down. Oh, yeah. That one caught me off guard completely, that comment in the previous video. Salmon A says, I think the expeditions are very anti-solar players. I mean, if you're in a team and a player dies, you can just simply revive them, but if the same happens to a solo player, then you're sent back all the way to the start of the expedition. Yeah, that is such a pain. Once again, it's not too friendly to players that are solo players that are playing expeditions, but my god, does it make it super intense. That's kind of the thing. To me, it throws a little bit of that Dark Souls difficulty into Outriders, which I think some people might actually enjoy. So going forward, they're going to have to adjust things cautiously, and in my opinion, they're going to need options. But you know, it's so complicated from a game development standpoint. If they provide too many options, they're going to have problems with matchmaking. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how People Can Fly can handle all the different opinions out there in the community. But thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Outriders news updates and open world gaming goodness. And I will see you all next time. Take care.